Alright, class, our sixth race of season number 2. This puts us now at halfway through season number 2 with 6 more races to go. And we are at Charlotte on the road course, and we have an outstanding statistic I'm going to drop here. We got 17 cars strong on the grid for 888 laps complete, nearly 900 laps, with only 63 incidents. This is a new group record for us at almost 15 LPI. That's almost a group 15 laps per incident. Absolutely outstanding. Now let's give it up to Mr. Kotz, Ronnie, bringing in a victory, putting the burners down on Mr. Bristow. So he's stretching the alien muscles with us out there today. Well, last night. Let's see. Also want to welcome Mr. Dunlap, our latest recruit, able to join us in the race. Good to see you. Good to have you with us. Good showing out there. Beat better statistics than many of us in our first goes at endurance racing here with the 90 minutes at Charlotte. And pause. Take a moment here to share just how over the moon I am with Kevin's work on our livery and everybody's work and camaraderie and put together for the team racing this week as we got into the Ferrari and worked out the Daytona of 24 hours. I'm just over the moon with the group and the enjoyment and the respect. And right now I'm focusing, I'm giving mad props to the Kevin's work here on this livery because it is just beautiful. Absolutely loving this, and our logo work. Mr. Burns pulling in resources, knocking out this logo. I'm just over the moon, guys. Group hug. Absolutely loving this. And then this guy's got to get the latest update, cause this is one of the Kevin's older masterpieces. Almost right. It's almost spot on. We're just missing. We're missing the logo here with that Burns worked hard on, and then the reverse switch on our black and orange here. Look at the check out Trading Paints Kevin's page there for that livery update. With our low amount of incidents in this race, we're gonna go full montage here. Post-race finish line. So we have a small collection of solo spins for the minimum 1 penalty point for reckless. And then we have our 50-50 rule there at the finish line with some camaraderie and an enjoyable battle. And we have 2 that I didn't show, which are unsafe rejoins, which is why I'm showing this right here, because this was just a prime example from Mr. Dunlap, our newest member, on proper respect and proper patience after a spin before the rejoin. I so love seeing that. And his car was actually gimped out there and crabbing, and he took it immediately off the track into a safe position to take the tow. Hats off to you, tip of the hat, man. Pleasure to have you with us. Really good to see. Unsafe rejoin number 1. Bad things happen to good people. Got an unfortunate nose to the wall, which happens. And here's the big goof. Yeah, this is right on the racing line. Fortunately, the cars coming through had some good awareness and checked up, and were able to avoid this going full calamity. So as it is an unsafe rejoin, we have a minor that did not escalate due to the nature of the impeded traffic. But yeah, everybody gotta calm down after bad things happen. As Mr. Dunlop, our new recruit there, just showed us brilliantly. Take a few seconds, pause, adjust yourself in your seat, check your F3 box, and get things back underway. Just like the last one, we have an unfortunate or a mistake that is a 1 point reckless. Then we have just a bad, unsafe rejoin decision right here, impeding the traffic because right now we're parked right on the racing line. We came out. I appreciate both of these guys giving some thought and concern just a little bit too late to go like, oh, and stopping, slowing. He slowed here. It's coming out, and then he's like, woes it up so he doesn't impede, but unfortunately he's right on the racing line. This is unsafe rejoin. And for both of these, there's no escalation, no calamity happened, so it's only a 1 point. More than anything, this is just an opportunity as a training tool, as a lesson for everybody that this could have gone bad for either one of these guys and gone straight to a disqualification and multiple drive-through penalties. Easily could have gone bad for both of these guys. And for example, on that position there, here comes the same thing. This is our race winner right here, cutting that race line, and he's even kind of wide here because you can cut a lot more on both of these corners. The white lines, you can cut a lot of these here at Charlotte for that optimal racing line in order to get a good run through here. Now the cousins have been working together here for 90 minutes, and here on their final lap, they're gonna throw down, as it were. So let's enjoy this little final battle here before we break it down. Kevin times his draft. AJ goes to the apron. Shimmy, shimmy, wiggle, wiggle, pressure, pressure, push, push, nudge, nudge, pinch, pinch. Oh! And then showing off. Yeah, I love this. I came around on my cool down lap to come at there I am coming out there. I was trying to give Ronnie a bump for the win. And I saw that. That was awesome. Who doesn't love interjecting themselves into the middle of a blood feud? This guy. Well, I think the whole class knows I'm not the go-to guy for oval stuff, and that both of these two family members these cousins are oval guys who have made a brilliant changeover here to the enjoyment of the MX-5 and the road. But I'm going to do the best I can here at breaking this down. A couple things for me to consider. Got a final lap battle, camaraderie between friends, family, throwdown, final lap. The actual incident at the finish line at the checkers easily falls within the shared responsibility, what we call the 50-50 ruling. Now, it would be considered a race-ending damage as the full spin and wall contact past the checkers or through the checkers would be ugly at the very least, and in a real world would be life threatening, and we wouldn't see that kind of stuff. Well, it does happen, but not in the sense of family throwing down. There's still going to be a little bit. I think there's going to be a little bit more. You know, don't don't wreck them. Hard to say, because these things do happen in the real world, but then that's also when race control gets in and people are fined and warned and threatened. So I don't want it to be taken in the game sense that there's no risk. The whole representation of our penalty system and structure for supporting and promoting respect to the track, to the service, and to each other is still has to be held into account while we have this family fun time. So on the oval thing, we have an apron use, and as I understand oval thing, going to the start finish line, that's within margins and acceptable, despite it being a no during the race. But final lap, final turn, final run at the start at the checkers, you can use that apron to either defend or to pass going through, but not on the backstretch between turns 2 and 3. So I was uncomfortable with this, but this frame shot is the lowest that he goes. So it doesn't, in the world of road racing, it's not off track, because there is surface there, there is runoff, there is paved security safety pavement road. In this case, it's an apron. But that would lead us to an off track being accounted for if all 4 tires were below. So my first instincts were, oh man, they're starting it ugly here, and that's going to promote bad stuff, and I got to count that. But we don't actually get full onto the apron, so I'm going to negate that as just good strategic positioning and racing as these two go for it. All right, here we come to the start, to the checkers. Digby, legless, is going to squeeze up, as is his right, to go out towards the racing line. Kevin's going to do some pinching, so we clearly got shared responsibility on the 50-50. Well, I'm using got the camera at group, even though it is focused on Digby, so it's going to show a little bit more movement here on Kevin's part. But you'll see the line. Digby goes out clearly, while Kevin is swinging and looking and vying for a spot. And it's not, he doesn't really come in. Let me go down to this one, and let me move over a little bit. He doesn't come down and pinch into him. I mean, there's just minor. So we are 50-50, which would fall into a equal share. iRacing incident counts are going to cover this on the no fault iRacing incident thing, but due to the life-threatening nature of a battle to the death at the finish line and the 50-50 rule here, I'm going to drop a 1 penalty point on both of these guys, because I think they could have easily handled this without a full wipe. With as much as there's a camaraderie, there's a blood feud, there's an enjoyment here. I think in the world of simulation respect, this could have it's easily avoidable. This didn't need to be a wreck. But 1p, the minimum that can possibly be tossed at this, just an occurrence or an occasion to still promote a safe environment, so that cars don't need to be repaired. Financial losses wouldn't be accrued by the teams or the drivers or the owners, and race control can and track admin associations, NASCARs, all the things that be would hold true to their name, and to the name of what we've got going here with the Trishan Sim Race Campus is respect is paramount. And while these two guys I know respect and love each other, they got into a little bit of fun zone here that just didn't. It was the damage and the accident was avoidable. I'm gonna end it there. I've been told they're gonna appeal my decision beyond this, but I also think 1p is well within means to stand behind what I like to see here, and what I think these guys what everybody's capable of. And yeah, it's just one. It's just one P. It's just one. In keeping with yeah, I don't even know how to say it. Hopefully I've got my point across well enough, because I'm at a loss for words. I respect the battle. The guys worked together all race long and threw down for the final lap, and it went a little south. And there was no actual disrespect here. There was this was not disrespectful on either guy's part. This was just good, solid, hard racing, but in my opinion, still avoidable. The damage and incidents and what would be life-threatening was avoidable by both parties. So 1P shared. And practice smart. Stay up.